President Trump, a huge rally in Kentucky, but the star of that rally was Rand Paul. We're going to play you a video clip. And ABC News has huge egg on their face. We don't even know how far this is going to go. Something that they covered up regarding the pedophile Epstein and President Clinton. And I'm in the news. After our event down in Tupelo, Mississippi, we're going to play that clip for you, and I think you're going to enjoy it, be surprised at how accurate it was, and maybe be inspired. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance. Hello, friends. I watch most of President Trump's speeches and bring you clips or bring you an overview of what I think you should know. That's my job as the host. And last night I was watching the Trump rally in Kentucky, and the thing that struck me so hard was Senator Rand Paul. He said something that so many of us are thinking. I'm going to play the clip, but here's the big thing. He goes after the media, and he goes after his fellow Republicans. Watch this, and then maybe, just maybe, you're going to want to put a call into your Republican congressman or U.S. Senator, Senator Rand Paul.
Also with us tonight is a great warrior and a great guy, smart, strong, loves your state, and he's really become a good friend of mine. And I'll tell you, he's a little bit different. It's okay. But whenever I've needed him, whenever I needed him, he was always there. It's true. I mean, sometimes, like, I'd say, I don't need your vote, Rand. Good. And he'll vote his own way. He's got that little libertarian touch. That's okay. That's okay. But whenever we need, and I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about we need a vote. He's so incredible, and he's become a really good friend. And I want to have him come up for a second. Rand Paul, your senator, a great warrior.
President Trump has great courage. He faces down the fake media every day. But Congress needs to step up and have equal courage to defend the president. Hunter Biden made $50,000 a month. That's the definition of corruption. We know he got it only because of his family connections. We also now know the name of the whistleblower. The whistleblower needs to come before Congress as a material witness because he worked for Joe Biden at the same time Hunter Biden was getting money from corrupt oligarchs. I say tonight to the media, do your job and print his name. And I say this to my fellow colleagues in Congress, to every Republican in Washington, step up and subpoena Hunter Biden and subpoena the whistleblower. And I say to my colleagues, if Shifty Schiff will not let Hunter Biden come, and if he will not bring the whistleblower forward, every Republican in Congress should take a walk and say, this is a farce.
Wow, that was excellent. Whoa. Wow. Thank you.
So there you have it. I think even President Trump was surprised. I really do. I don't think that President Trump knew what Senator Paul was going to say. Now, this is very interesting. I read this morning in the news that it is a crime to reveal the identity of a whistleblower. I did not know that. I have not verified if it's true. So what Senator Paul is saying, look, I know who it is, and you people in the media know who it is. Release the name. Here's what's interesting. And Sean Hannity said he knows who it is. The media lets go of identities, leaks stories every day. It's what they do. Why haven't they brought forward who this whistleblower is? It's because he worked for Vice President Biden. That's what Rand Paul was getting at. The whistleblower worked for Biden at the time when Biden was shaking down the Ukrainian government. Remember the clip of Biden saying, if you don't fire that prosecutor in the next 6 hours, you're not getting the $1 billion? Remember him saying that? That was to protect his son, Hunter. So Rand Paul said, let's stop this charade. Get Hunter under oath and get this whistleblower under oath. Let's see what was really going on with Vice President Biden and with Hunter Biden, his son. How is it that Hunter Biden was making $50,000 a month and more? It turned out to be millions of dollars when he knew nothing about gas, when he knew nothing about the whole industry on which he sat on a board. Hunter Biden, in an interview recently, I believe it was with ABC News, said he knows he wouldn't have gotten the gig if his last name wasn't Biden. There's corruption there, people. And the media is ignoring it because they hate Trump so much. They're no longer trustworthy. They're no longer trustworthy. Full steam ahead. I'm going to explain to you why I'm supporting President Trump later on in the program. Don't go away. You're not going to want to miss some of these other clips. Introducing Roxy Guitar. If you're a guitar or bass player, whether you play acoustic or electric, check out Roxy Guitar. I've been playing for over 40 years and seen guitar stores all over America. I've never seen a store like Roxy Guitar. Roxy Guitar has over 700 guitars in stock, over 1,500 pedals, over 200 amps. For the beginner or price-conscious buyer, there's Michael Kelly guitars. For the serious player or professional, Roxy Guitar has the finest selection of guitar lines I've ever seen. You know I love Warrior guitars. Roxy Guitar has over 100 Warriors in stock. They have Heritage, G&L, Gretsch, John Sears, BC Rich, Duesenberg, Dean, legendary guitars at great prices, including pre-owned Gibsons, Fenders, and more. Let them know you heard about Roxy Guitar from Randall Terry and receive 10% or more off your purchase on select items. Go to roxyguitar.com. Welcome back, friend. I have had experience with the secular media for over 35 years. All right? For those of you who don't know, I've been on the front page of the New York Times, the Washington Post, feature stories in Time Magazine, the Rolling Stone, the Los Angeles Times, the Washington Post, newspapers all over the country, and sometimes around the world, literally. Interviewed personally by Dan Rather, one-on-one, on the Oprah Winfrey Show. I know the things that I'm talking about from experience. I know that the left-wing media, or let me strike that. I know that the secular press, the mainstream press, the fake news, as they are now called, I know both statistically and experientially that they are mostly hardcore Democrats who support the slaughter of innocent babies and the established perversion of so-called homosexual marriage. That's who they are, all right? That is the core of who they are. And their reporting reflects it. So just imagine a journalist who gets into Auschwitz or Dachau, and they actually see the Jews as slave laborers. They They see the ovens, they smell the burnt flesh, they see the bones. A journalist inside, if that journalist did not cover what they saw, what would you call them? You'd call them a Nazi. You'd call them a Nazi collaborator. You would call them unholy, unjust, deceptive. They would be liars by what they didn't cover. They would be liars by omission. To cover a truth of that magnitude is a lie. That's what the secular press is all about. If for no other reason than over 3,000 babies every day are brutally murdered and the press doesn't cover it. The press doesn't show the American people what it's all about. Because if the American people knew, most of them would never kill their babies, and most of them would scream for this Holocaust to be ended. But I digress. It just came out, Project Veritas, and I honor these people. Oh my goodness. We're going to play a clip for you from Project Veritas. Somebody inside of ABC News leaked footage of a hot mic situation with an ABC journalist who 3 years ago had the story on Jeffery Epstein and his so-called sex island, where they had literally a ring, a pedophile ring. And people have been screaming for a long time. I've got friends in Washington, D.C. who have been on this, saying that there is high-ranking Democrat officials that are involved in a pedophile ring. Listen closely to this, what she's about to say, because she says she had stuff on Clinton. And this is all about a pedophile ring. Okay? Here's the footage.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffery Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton, we had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I'm so pissed right now. Like, every day I get more and more pissed because I'm just like, oh my God, what we had was unreal. Other women backing it up. Hey, yep. Brad Edwards, the attorney, 3 years ago, saying there will come a day when we will realize Jeffrey Epstein was the most prolific pedophile this country has ever known. And I had it all 3 years ago.
Now, this is sickening. I just read a story 2 or 3 days ago that the coroner said that Jeffrey Epstein's death showed signs of murder. On this program, when he went into jail, I said the man is never coming out alive. He's going to be murdered in prison. He had too much criminal dirt on too many powerful people. And he was killed. I believe that he was murdered. And we may never know because of the strength and the power of the people that would cover up something of that nature. But, you know, the cameras didn't work. The people were not aware that this was happening. I mean, it's just such baloney. It's just bullcrap. It reads like a trashy novel. But what's interesting, what's horrifying, is that ABC News had this story and they killed it. How many other outlets had the story and killed it? Who else knew about a criminal, pedophile, child prostitution, child slavery ring where Clinton is implicated? Former President Clinton is implicated at some level. Who else knew? How many journalists out there have stories like this right now? I don't know. I don't even know what the stories are. But she said she had it. Documentation. It's unthinkable. That's what we're dealing with the people who are trying to take out President Trump. That's why I keep saying to Christians, wake up. I'm going to explain to you when I come back from this break. I'm going to show you footage of news coverage that I got in Mississippi on Friday at the Tupelo President Trump rally. And then you'll understand exactly why I'm supporting President Trump. Please stay with me.
I also want to speak tonight directly to Muslims throughout the world. We respect your faith. Its teachings are good and peaceful. And those who commit evil in the name of Allah blaspheme the name of Allah.
We have reaffirmed again and again that the United States is not and never will be at war with Islam. Islam teaches peace.
Islam is a religion of peace. They are not Muslims, they are monsters.
We've been told that Muslim terrorists have hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam. But Islamic art and literature tell a very different story. To know the truth, we only have to study the narrative of the founder of Islam, Muhammad, in his own words. Welcome back, friend. In spite of the fact that the New York, D.C. corridor is controlled, 90% controlled by left-wing lunatics when it comes to the media, and not to mention Los Angeles. There are still a lot of media outlets at the local level around the country that either have a conservative worldview, some of them a Christian worldview, or just what used to be considered journalistic integrity. They actually still believe in doing an old world story where you cover a news story, you interview A, you interview B, you interview A, you interview B, and then you give the synopsis at the end of the story. So, as I said, I've been in literally tens of thousands of stories around the world. And I've read a lot of them. There's a lot of them I haven't read. I find stuff to this day about myself that I never even knew was written. But I've had tremendous success in getting out a message through local press. Now, there's a reason I'm telling you this. I'm about to show you a clip from a news story that ran on Friday in Mississippi. I went to the Tupelo Trump rally. I took our 37-foot motor coach. We have a fantastic sound system in the coach that can reach close to half a mile, or at least a quarter mile. It's amazing. I raised the money thanks to some of you who actually helped us. These crazy speakers cost $1,000 each. There's two of them. They're made for football stadiums, baseball stadiums. Crystal clear audio that just carries. So this was our maiden voyage with these speakers. And we were talking to people while they were coming in. They said, well, Randall, why would you go to a Trump rally? Because I was saying, take pictures of this coach. Friends, take pictures of the coach and put them on social media. But the other reason I went to a Trump rally is I know that there's media there. And I'm always hoping to get media coverage. Why, Randall? To get our message out. So here is yet another perfect illustration of how we can get good press locally. Now, you don't need a 37-foot motor coach, but you could do something in your town. You could do something with just 2 or 3 people, you and one other person, you and 2 or 3 of your friends. And you can get television and newspaper coverage, and your voice can be heard, and more importantly, the message can be heard. So people, people say, how could you vote for President Trump? How could you support President Trump? He's such a bad man, and blah, blah, blah. The reason is the Supreme Court. Watch this clip. It says it all.
If somebody asks you to take them to a bank, and you know that they're going to rob the bank and shoot the teller, and you help them, even if you don't pull the trigger, you are guilty.
The The most important reason that I have, and that we all have, to see President Trump reelected is the Supreme Court. We have got to have judges that will overturn Roe versus Wade. And all of the Democrats have said that they will appoint judges who will keep the killing of babies going by abortion. That's why we've got to support President Trump. And I agree with him on a lot of other issues. But we're here so that people will take pictures of this coach and send them to their Democrat friends, family, people at church, so that they'll have a crisis of conscience and they'll put the babies ahead of partisan party politics.
Okay, so this is number one for you above all things.
Yes. The shedding of innocent blood is the most horrific crime that we are committing as a nation.
And if you vote for somebody like Biden or Elizabeth Warren or crazy Bernie Sanders, knowing that they will kill babies, then you share in the guilt of that bloodshed.
So there it was, 1 minute and 16 seconds in the Clarion Ledger. I couldn't buy that. I couldn't pay to have that 1 minute ad. You couldn't either. They're showing the Democrat faces. They're showing an aborted baby in the middle. They're having my words about this is a Holocaust, that it's a crime against God. We've got to stop the shedding of innocent bloods. They have me telling Christians, if you vote for somebody like this, you share in the guilt. That's the message. That is why I am supporting President Trump. It's about the Supreme Court. I had a discussion this morning with a friend, and he said, this is all going to be decided by the Supreme Court. I said, yeah, that's why I'm supporting President Trump, because the Democrats are going to appoint people who believe in Roe versus Wade and are going to keep the killing of babies going. President Trump did something unprecedented during his campaign. He released that list of 20 potential Supreme Court judges who had been vetted by conservative constitutionalist groups. And he's been good to his word. 2 of the people that he appointed to the Supreme Court came right off that list. And if somebody else on the Supreme Court retires or dies, we have every reason to believe that their replacement, picked by President Trump, is going to come off that list. We stand the best chance of overturning Roe with President Trump in office. And there is nothing more important in this nation right now, nothing, than ending this Holocaust. Please don't go away. I'll be right back. What Would Mohammed Do? Islamic Terrorism Explained is the best movie series documentary ever produced on the life of Muhammad and Islam. How do I know? Because it's what critics are saying. John Moore, radio host and author, said, I learned more from What Would Mohammed Do about Islam and Islamic terrorism than I've learned from everything I ever read and watched in my entire life. Best-selling author Dr. Bill Warner said, What Would Mohammed Do is the best movie series, TV production on the life of Muhammad and Islamic terrorism that has ever been produced. Friends, this is what the experts are saying. No one has ever done what we've done. I encourage you to get 1, 2, 4 copies. Call 304-289-3700. That's 304-289-3700, or order it at the address or the website that you see on the screen. Introducing Roxy Guitar. If you're a guitar or bass player, whether you play acoustic or electric, check out Roxy Guitar. I've been playing for over 40 years and seen guitar stores all over America. I've never seen a store like Roxy Guitar. Roxy Guitar has over 700 guitars in stock, over 1,500 pedals, over 200 amps. For the beginner or price-conscious buyer, there's Michael Kelly guitars. For the serious player or professional, Roxy Guitar has the finest selection of guitar lines I've ever seen. You know I love Warrior guitars. Roxy Guitar has over 100 Warriors in stock. They have Heritage, G&L, Gretsch, John Sears, BC Rich, Duesenberg, Dean, legendary guitars at great prices, including pre-owned Gibsons, Fenders, and more. Let them know you heard about Roxy Guitar from Randall Terry and receive 10% or more off your purchase on select items. Go to roxyguitar.com. Do you want to learn how to have an impact? go to my website, randallterry.com, and order the materials that are there. These are suggested donations. It'll help us financially, and we need your help, and it'll help you to become the person, the man or the woman that you want to be. Please, friend, give a contribution and get some of these materials and change the world for Jesus. God bless you.